Stephen Reeves had spent 40 years building a name that meant integrity in every boardroom from here to Chicago. Tonight, at the charity gala, someone was about to cash that reputation in without his consent.
Mr. Reeves, I can't thank you enough for co-investing with Justin's fund. My wife and I were nervous, but your name on the offering changed everything.
Co-investing.
Justin Harlow's new fund. He told us you were backing it personally. We saw your name in the materials, so we put in our retirement.
Stephen's face went still. Not the stillness of calm, the stillness of a man holding back something dangerous.
Justin used my name. Harold, I appreciate you telling me. Enjoy the evening.
He walked out of the ballroom without a backward glance, the noise of the gala dropping away behind him.
My own son-in-law sold my name.
Outside, the autumn air did nothing to cool the fire building in his chest. He didn't know what Justin had done, but he was about to find out. Stephen arrived home and went straight to his study, where the silence felt heavier than the anger still humming in his blood. He picked up the phone.
Julia, it's Dad. Tell me about Justin's new venture. What's he been telling people?
Oh, Dad, it's amazing. He's helping so many local families. Everyone's talking about it. Why do you ask?
I ran into a man tonight who thanked me for co-investing. He said my name was on the offering materials.
Dad, that's probably just a misunderstanding. Justin respects you so much. Maybe he mentioned you. You are always so suspicious.
Using my name without permission is not a misunderstanding. Julia, it's a lie.
Stop it, Dad. Justin loves this family. He'd never do anything to hurt us. You've never liked him, and I am tired of it.
She's shutting me out. I can't push her now. All right, I'll let it go for tonight. Just be careful, Julia.
He hung up with a quiet click, the silence of the study settling around him like a verdict. Whatever Justin was doing, Stephen would have to uncover it alone, and soon, the next morning, Stephen called a man who had once handled sensitive mergers for him, a man who still owed him a quiet favor.
I need anything you can find on Justin Harlow's new fund. Brochures, contracts, anything my name is attached to.
Within hours, a manila envelope landed on his desk. No sender name, just a sheaf of glossy promotions and investment contracts. He slid the brochure out and froze. Strategic Advisor, Stephen Reeves. The words sat under the fund's name like a guarantee.
He didn't just drop my name. He printed it on every page, like a seal of approval.
Stephen opened his laptop, created a new folder, and called it simply Harlow. Inside, he began scanning every page.
If he used me once, he's done it 100 times. I need to find every document.
By afternoon, the folder held 37 pages of evidence, each one a fresh betrayal. He didn't yet know how the money moved, but he knew it was a lie.
This isn't enough. I need to talk to someone who invested. I need to hear how he sold my name.
Stephen decided to test his son-in-law face to face. He called Justin and invited him over for a drink. Justin arrived with a bottle of wine and a smile that looked rehearsed.
Stephen, thanks for having me. What's the occasion? You sounded serious on the phone.
No occasion. Just curious. How's the new fund performing? I've been hearing it mentioned around town.
It's going well, better than I hoped. Some clients mention your name out of respect, like you are involved. It's kind of them.
Mention my name how? I haven't signed anything, and I haven't spoken to any of them.
Stephen, you are a legend here. People assume I have your blessing, but I've never said you are backing the fund.
He's lying. Every word is sanded smooth, but underneath it's all splinters.
Stephen let the lie sit, then nodded. At the door, he shook Justin's hand and watched him walk to his car.
He used my name, and he thinks I bought that. Now I know he'll never tell the truth on his own.
That evening, Stephen called Marcus Webb, a retired pharmacist who had once mentioned investing with a promising young manager. He asked for a private meeting. The next morning, they sat in the corner of a quiet coffee shop. Marcus fidgeted with his cup, eyes darting.
I brought the paperwork. It says right here that you are a backer. That's why everyone felt safe.
The contract listed Stephen Reeves as a named guarantor, with a clause tying the fund's performance to his personal reputation.
He didn't just borrow my name, he forged a guarantee.
But Stephen, the returns have been strange. Last month, I got nothing. I started to wonder if something was wrong.
How many people did you bring in, Marcus? This isn't just about you.
A few. My brother-in-law, my neighbor. We trusted you, Stephen. We all did.
Marcus, I was never involved. Justin used my name. I need you to keep quiet and help me find the others. Quietly.
Marcus's face went pale, but he gave a shaky nod. Stephen now had a witness, a contract, and the first proof that the fund was rotting from within. 3 days later, Marcus gathered 7 investors in a drab community room. Every face was pained.
Stephen, this is Evelyn Pratt. She put everything into the fund, her pension, her savings.
He said, "You were the safest bet in town. I have nothing left to fall back on."
Every word she says is another nail in Justin's coffin and another scar on innocent people.
Stephen opened his notepad and recorded each name, each story, every dollar lost.
Mrs. Pratt, I promise you, I will make this right. He's stolen nearly $4 million from people who only wanted a safe future.
By the end of the meeting, the numbers were devastating. 43 families, $3.9 million.
I never backed that fund. Your money was taken by a lie, and I will stop it.
He left with a file thick with testimonies and a weight that would not let him sleep. The next morning, Stephen learned that a friend of Harold's was about to invest his retirement. He made a single, blunt call.
The fund is fraudulent. I never backed it. Do not give Justin Harlow another $1.
Word traveled fast. Within 3 hours, Stephen's phone rang. Justin, breathing fire.
Stephen, you just cost me $100,000. Who do you think you are?
I am the man whose name you forged. That's who I am.
I'll sue you into the ground, and Julia will know you tore our family apart.
He'll use Julia as a shield. I have to be faster than his lies.
The line went dead. Stephen sat motionless, the threat still ringing. Then he reached for his file.
No more time. I need a forensic accountant who can map the money.
Justin had shown his hand, volatile and dangerous. The investigation was no longer quiet. Stephen had to move now. Before Stephen could act on the forensic next step, the front door flew open. Julia stood there, her face a storm of disbelief and hurt.
"Dad, I know what you are doing. You are spreading lies about Justin to break us apart."
Julia, listen. There are things you don't know. Justin isn't who you think.
He told me you'd say that you've never believed in him, never believed in us.
This goes deeper than belief. People have been hurt. People who trusted my name. Just let me explain.
I don't want to hear it. You've never wanted to see the good in him. I can't do this.
She turned and left, the door clicking shut behind her with a finality that seemed to freeze the air.
She's gone, and Justin is filling her head with poison. But I can't let that stop me.
The silence of the house pressed in on him, but under the grief, a colder clarity was hardening.
I'll lose her before I let him destroy any more families. I have to call David.
Stephen opened his laptop and dialed David Lerner, a retired SEC forensic accountant who still took the occasional private case.
David, I am sending you everything. Contracts, promos, account patterns. I think my son-in-law is running a Ponzi.
I'll run the numbers. Give me 18 hours. If it's what you suspect, you'll have irrefutable proof.
He uploaded the file, then waited. The hours stretched like wire. When the call came back, David's face had the look of a man who had seen something ugly.
It's a classic Ponzi, Stephen. There are no real investments. New money pays old investors, and the math is about to break.
Justin didn't just borrow my name. He built a fraud on it. And it's going to shatter.
Stephen, if you don't get the authorities to freeze this now, every last dollar will vanish. You can't wait another day.
Will what you found be enough for prosecution? I need to be sure it sticks.
More than enough. But every hour you wait, another victim puts money in. You have to go, now.
Stephen thanked him and closed the laptop. The evidence was complete. Only one path remained, and it led straight to the SEC. Before Stephen could leave for the SEC, he opened his evidence folder one last time. Among the contracts, something new caught his eye. A partnership agreement bearing his signature. But the strokes were wrong, too precise, traced from an old document.
He didn't just use my name. He forged my hand. This is criminal. Julia, you need to come to the house now. Don't ask questions. Just come.
20 minutes later, Julia walked in, guarded and angry. Stephen motioned her to the desk.
This signature. That's not me. Justin traced it. And here are the accounts. He's running a Ponzi.
I didn't know. But if you go to the authorities, my kids, our family, Dad, can't you just talk to him privately? Please.
I can't. If I wait, more people lose their savings. He'll keep lying. I have to stop it now.
She stared at him with a look that broke something, then walked out without another word. Stephen slid the file into his briefcase, put on his coat, and stepped into the night. The SEC office was his next destination. As Stephen unlocked his car door, 3 more vehicles pulled up, blocking his driveway. Faces he'd seen at Evelyn's meeting climbed out, anger twisting features that had once shown only grief. A man in the crowd yelled, "He's the one who drew us in." Stephen turned, his jaw set, and raised a hand for silence.
They've been told I am the mastermind. Justin is covering his tracks. I am not running. I am on my way to the SEC because this fund is a fraud and I never had anything to do with it. Justin Harlow used my name without my knowledge. I have proof, forged documents, Ponzi accounts. I am going to stop him right now.
The crowd's noise dulled. An older woman with tear-streaked cheeks stepped forward. Evelyn Pratt.
If you are telling the truth, Mr. Reeves, then for God's sake, do it now. We have nothing left.
I will. Get in your cars. Go home. This ends tonight.
He opened the car door, placed the file on the passenger seat, and slid behind the wheel. The crowd parted as his engine turned. As the taillights faded down the street, the SEC building loomed in his mind. Nothing would stand between him and that door. The SEC field office glowed harsh against the night sky. Stephen walked through the glass doors with a case that could end a family. A sharp-eyed agent met him in a sparse conference room. Her badge read Torres.
Mr. Reeves, you said this was urgent. I assume you didn't come here without proof.
I have a Ponzi scheme, forged signatures, and 43 families. My son-in-law used my name to steal millions.
He opened the file and slid it across the table. Every forged document, every victim statement, the forensic breakdown.
This is thorough. You've done half our job, but I need to hear it from you. Were you ever involved?
Never. I found out when a man at a charity gala thanked me for co-investing.
Torres flipped through the pages, her expression hardening with each new signature.
I am freezing the accounts and opening a formal investigation. We'll need your full cooperation.
Stephen nodded. The machinery of justice finally spun, and there was no pulling it back. Stephen rented the community hall. Word spread among investors. They came with anger, fear, and a desperate need for truth. He stepped to the podium. No notes. His white Oxford shirt was the only armor he needed.
My name was stolen. I never backed Justin Harlow's fund. If you invested because of me, you were lied to.
Voices rose, some accusing, some begging. He raised a hand until the room quieted.
The SEC has frozen the accounts. No more money goes in. If you were about to invest, stop.
Near the back, hidden by the crowd, Julia slipped in. She hadn't told anyone she'd come.
He looks like he hasn't slept, but he also looks like he's telling the truth.
Stephen met the crowd's eyes, Evelyn's, Marcus's, strangers, and said the words that would cost him.
I will help every victim. I will testify, but I will not protect a liar.
Julia's hands pressed against her chest. The anger in her face cracked, and something uncertain took its place. By the next morning, every local station carried the same headline: SEC freezes Harlow investment accounts. Julia watched from her kitchen, a coffee cup frozen halfway to her lips.
He really did it. Dad actually did it.
She drove to his house in a blur, tires grinding against the curb as she slammed the car door.
You couldn't just talk to him. You had to destroy us in public?
Stephen said nothing. He walked to his study and pulled out the envelope she had refused to look at.
Look at the faces. Read their letters. Then tell me I should have kept quiet.
He placed the forged signature next to a photo of Evelyn Pratt, holding her last bank statement.
She thought she was safe because of Dad.
I love you, Jules. That's why I couldn't let him keep hurting people in my name.
She slumped onto his couch, sobbing, the papers trembling in her hands. The truth was still brutal, but it was no longer invisible. After Julia's breathing steadied, a text from Torres lit Stephen's phone. Moving on, Harlow. 15 minutes. He drove to the office building and parked across the street, the engine ticking like a slow clock. Minutes later, Justin was walked out in handcuffs, his tie twisted, flashbulbs bleaching the smirk off his face. A reporter shouted, "Is it true you forged Stephen Reeves' signature?" Justin's mouth opened, but no words came.
He sold my name. Now he'll have to answer for it.
Hours later, as dusk bled into night, Julia's car pulled into his driveway. She stepped out like a woman underwater. Stephen opened the door. Her eyes were raw, her voice barely a whisper.
Is all of it true? Every single thing he did?
Stephen nodded once. She collapsed into him, a sob tearing through her like a fresh wound.
I am filing for divorce. My kids will never see him again.
For 3 days, Stephen barely left the SEC conference room. A whiteboard filled with arrows, names, and dates traced the money's silent path.
This cycle here. New deposits paid old returns for 6 months. It was never sustainable.
Your mapping matches our forensics exactly. The DA will need you on the stand.
That evening, back in his study, his phone rang. Evelyn Pratt's voice came through, fragile but steady.
They say you stopped it before it collapsed completely. I don't know how to thank you.
Just hold on, Evelyn. We're not done yet, but thank you for believing me.
More calls came. Marcus, Harold, even some who had shouted at his door. Each one added a layer back to his name. A week later, in the SEC office, Torres spread out the final case file. It was thick enough to stop a bullet.
The trial date is set. You'll be our key witness.
Stephen ran his thumb along the edge of the file. The truth was ready. Now it would speak in a courtroom. The courtroom fell silent as Stephen Reeves walked to the stand. In the gallery, Julia clasped her hands until her knuckles whitened.
That is my name, but I did not approve it. I had no knowledge of this fund until a stranger thanked me for co-investing. This signature is a tracing. I never signed this document. It's a forgery. I am not the mastermind. I am the man whose name was stolen. The real scheme was run by the defendant, my son-in-law. I spent 40 years building a reputation. I would never lend my name to a scheme that hurts innocent people.
He's telling the truth. I can see it in their faces. Even the jury feels it.
Stephen's eyes found Julia in the crowd. She gave a tiny nod, the first sign of solidarity in weeks. The testimony ended. The judge excused the witness. Stephen stepped down, his back straight as a verdict waiting to be written. The jury filed out, faces unreadable. Justin avoided Stephen's gaze, but the truth had already been laid bare. In the corridor, Julia grabbed his hand. No words, just the firm grasp of a daughter who finally understood. The case was in the jury's hands. After only 3 hours, the jury sent word. The courtroom filled again, every face drawn tight as a wire. The foreman unfolded the paper and read aloud, on all counts guilty. Justin's face went to ash. His mouth opened once, then closed, the sound of the verdict stripping the air from his lungs.
It's over. He can't touch my name anymore.
A sob cracked the stillness. Julia's hands flew to her face as tears spilled down her cheeks. Stephen turned and pulled her into his chest. They held each other, the gavel banging unheard behind them. The judge set a date for sentencing, calling the fraud a betrayal of trust. But the real sentence was already carved on Justin's hollow stare.
He's done, Julia. He can't take anything else from us.
Outside the courthouse, a small crowd of investors had gathered. As Stephen stepped out, they started to clap. He didn't raise his hands, he just stood there. Julia beside him, the sound washing over him like a name finally returned. The press conference was small but packed. Microphones covered the table, and every reporter watched Stephen like a jury.
I was never involved in the Harlow Fund. My name was used without my knowledge or consent. I regret not discovering that earlier. I want to thank the SEC for their swift action, and the victims who trusted my name, even when I didn't know it was being sold.
Julia stood at his side, not speaking, but her presence was a quiet declaration of truth. A reporter asked, "Why didn't you realize sooner that your son-in-law was building a fraud on your name?"
Because I trusted him. That was my failure. But the moment I knew, I acted. I came forward.
Another voice called out, "Mrs. Harlow, do you support your father's actions?" The room held its breath.
My father did what was right. I stand with him and with every person Justin deceived.
A murmur moved through the crowd. Some of the same investors who had once shouted at his door nodded in quiet apology. Stephen gave a short nod, took Julia's hand, and stepped away from the podium. The name Reeves belonged to him again. Days later, Stephen pulled into the driveway of a small house with a yard full of toys. Julia opened the door before he could knock.
Dad, I was hoping you'd come.
I needed to see you. To see that you are okay.
She led him to the back patio, where her children chased each other through the grass.
I keep thinking about how close I came to losing you. For defending him.
You were protecting your family. I understand that. I am sorry for the pain I caused you.
You don't have to apologize. You saved us, Dad. You saved everyone.
They sat in silence, the laughter of children filling the yard.
This is all that matters now. This.
Julia leaned against his shoulder, and the late afternoon sun caught the edge of a smile. That evening, Stephen walked into his empty study. The silence wasn't heavy. It was the stillness of a fight finally over. He picked up a frame from the shelf. Julia at 6, beaming with a missing front tooth.
She almost lost me, but she chose the truth.
His phone buzzed. The caller ID showed an unfamiliar local number. A woman's voice, fragile but warm, said she'd been one of the early victims, and thanked him.
You are welcome. I only wish I'd known sooner.
He set the phone down and looked at the photograph again, his thumb tracing the frame.
My name means something again. Not because of a trial, because I didn't back down.
He placed the photo back on the shelf and for the first time in months, his shoulders released. Outside, the neighborhood settled into dusk. Stephen Reeves stood alone, but not lonely. The morning sun stretched across Stephen's garden as he stood among the flower beds. Hose in hand, water arcing silver in the light. Behind him, the shouts of two small children. Julia's echoed through the yard, chasing each other around a rose bush. He turned the nozzle off and watched them, the water still dripping from the leaves. A quiet, long moment holding.
This, more than any verdict, is what I fought for.
The cost had been severe. A family nearly broken, a trust violated, but the reward was this still moment, earned by refusing to stay silent. He knelt and pulled a stray weed, the earth cool under his fingers, grounding him. A child's laugh rang out, and he looked up, his face breaking into a rare, unguarded smile. Integrity has a price, but in the quiet of a garden, with the right name, restored and grandchildren nearby, the balance finally tipped toward peace. The garden grew, the name endured, and Stephen Reeves had nothing left to prove. He turned back to his flowers. The world kept turning, and for the first time, he was content to let it.